and welcome to another video. And today I'm sat in the car outside the gym, as I am 6 days a week, and I'm going to talk to you about my training plans for the next few months. Now, essentially, to put it in simple terms, I'm going to be running a modified version of the Bulgarian Method, which is essentially squatting and bench pressing every day, and then you deadlift kind of 3 days a week or so, depending on your preference. Now, I say modified because the Bulgarian Method was done by Olympic lifters, so it's not powerlifting specific, and it was also done by guys who were training full-time. They were full-time athletes, and therefore anyone that says they are running a Bulgarian Method is not running a true one. They are running some kind of adaptation or adapted version of that, which is what I'm going to be doing. I read about this. I was reading about the kind of squat every day setup. Read a lot of stuff from Greg, someone, and Omar Isuf. I forget Greg Rosetsky. It's not that, but let's just say Greg Rosetsky because it's funny. So Omar Isuf and Greg Rosetsky, they've got like a modern version of the Bulgarian Method. You can actually subscribe to their training manual type thing. It costs nothing, and they send you emails about like training kind of stuff. They try and sell you a few things, but essentially you are getting a program for free and loads of awesome information. So I would definitely recommend that. Just Google Omar Isuf and Greg someone Bulgarian Method, and you'll see what I mean. But it is really, really cool. That's what I've been looking at. Anyway, I basically want to increase my training frequency, so I will be doing what is essentially a high intensity, high frequency setup, whereby I work up to a heavy single every single day. Now, the thing that stops it from being ridiculously too much is that it's not a maximal single. You're not going for a PB every day, a PR every day. You're going for a single that you can hit without any psyching up, without any grinding. It needs to be a fairly smooth rep. So that's what saves you from getting destroyed, and that's what allows you to keep doing this continually and hopefully eventually hitting PRs. Anyway, I don't want to talk to you right now about it forever. What I'm going to do is I'm going in today to do squats and deadlifts, so I will show you the training footage that follows. And then obviously I'll probably commentate on it, commentate over it when I get home, and give you some more kind of information about the nitty gritty training based things. So without further ado, I will see you in there. Okay, the Bulgarian Method, or as I like to call it, Greg Rosetsky's power for tennis, strength and tennis regime. So essentially you build up to the point where you are squatting and bench pressing 6 times a week and then deadlifting 3 times a week. I'm in my first week of doing this. At the moment I'm doing squats and deadlifts and bench 3 times a week. I'm doing squats and deadlifts together for 3 days and then bench press on the other 3 days, and I'll over the course of the next couple of weeks merge those together until I'm doing all 3 in one big colossus session pretty much every day. So this is basically my 3rd session in 5 days of squats and deadlifts, so it's very new to me in terms of the frequency and the intensity, but already I'm starting to feel pretty good, definitely in terms of kind of being grooved in, and the theory is obviously that over time that training max increases to the point where you are hitting PRs without it really feeling like a PR, if you see what I mean. So today, obviously, as you can see, was squats, and then I did deadlifts immediately after this, and everything felt pretty good. Like I said, this was my 3rd day out of 5 doing this, so there wasn't really any fatigue there, but the beauty of it is because you don't go for a kind of a balls out single, you don't really feel that tired. Like after I finish, I feel pretty good. I don't feel like I need that much time before going into my deadlifts. I basically today worked up, this is my penultimate single, I worked up to what you'll see in a minute, which was 230 kilos, 507 pounds. I've done that in the previous 2 sessions. Today it wasn't as kind of smooth as the other ones were. It was a little bit, not grindy, but I basically misgrooved it. So that penultimate one you just saw there actually felt really good. It moved nice and fast. This one here, it was fine, like it felt easy, but it was more, you see there, I'd kind of misgrooved it, so my leg started wobbling for some reason. That kind of threw me off, but in terms of the speed of the rep, it was okay. I decided to leave it there. You basically, after that training max, you then just drop the weight down to about 80-85% of that, what you've just hit, and then do 2 or 3 doubles or triples. It's a little bit vague in terms of that, but basically the plan is over the weeks you obviously build up the volume there so that you can obviously continue to progress. So that was my squat workout. So I did that weight there for 2 sets of 3, and then I moved on to my deadlifts. Now, the pros of the setup are that, firstly, obviously you can get strong. The fact that you are doing a training max essentially every day of the week means that your body adapts to doing heavy singles. Sometimes people do lots of reps, and you find that if you do sets of 10 or sets of 5, you get really good at doing sets of 5 and sets of 10. It doesn't always correlate necessarily to a single, whereas if you're doing singles every day, obviously it's safe to say that is going to correlate to getting better at singles. On top of that, obviously your CNS gets really primed and really ready to do singles. You no longer need like ages to recover. So whereas, you know, if you're squatting 1 day a week, it's going to take you a long time to recover from that. If you're squatting 3-4 times a week, you're going to recover a lot faster. And on top of that, obviously your form gets really good because of that frequency. Not only is your CNS primed, your technique's nice and solid. It's something you can kind of depend on, which obviously in turn, as long as you can handle that frequency, that in turn leads to reduced risk of injuries. With that said, you know, obviously initially it can kind of suck. Like from what I've read, the first couple of weeks can start to suck, particularly when you get up to kind of 5-6 times a week. That's obviously going to be a bit rubbish at first because that is a lot of frequency. I have big question marks over the long term. You know, obviously the program is not really a long-term program. You can't obviously continually do that because it's obviously missing elements of training programs that you need. So it is kind of a short-term one. I think you can probably incorporate it as like a training block of like a longer thing, if you see what I mean. So maybe do a few months of hypertrophy and then run maybe a kind of a block of this. And with that said, hypertrophy, obviously the hypertrophy is one area where you are lacking here. It is obviously very low reps. All the heavy work is singles, and so you are lacking hypertrophy, but I've got a lot of experience of incorporating kind of bodybuilding hypertrophy work into my training, so I'm confident that I can still maintain that and still kind of continue building muscle whilst getting stronger. This is my training max with deadlift, so that's more than I've done for the previous 2 sessions, which I'm really happy with. You might have also noticed my stance, my sumo stance is wider than it has been. I'll make a video on this soon because I've decided to change things up there a little bit. But that's pretty much that, guys. So here I've just dropped down to a couple of triples, like I said. That was my session, and that is what I'm doing. I am very excited to see what happens. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope you found it informative. If you did, please give it a like. It means a lot to me. It helps the channel out. And if you didn't enjoy it, then just give it a like because I mentioned Greg Rosetsky about 12 times. And I will see you tomorrow.